I'm joined by two scribes that know a lot about these teams. The man to my left is Kevin Acee of the San Diego Union Tribune and Benjamin Hochman, columnist for the Denver Post. Good to see you gentlemen right here on this beautiful day. This is perfect.
Perfect day.
And I'm excited. This game is living up to the hype, I believe, tonight, certainly based on what we saw in Week 15 last year. Kevin, would you agree with that assessment?
From the San Diego perspective, a little bump last week.
Yes.
Losing to the Chiefs. Not nearly as bad as the folks in San Diego think. Still a 5-2 team that's overcome a lot. Very similar situation they come into, so banged up on defense. Who gave them a chance besides me last year?
You did?
In Week 15, I picked it. It's in the paper. I don't give them a chance tonight.
You don't?
Well, not a chance, but I picked
Of course,
the
you have a
Broncos.
chance. Everyone's got a chance in the NFL.
I've watched the NFL.
Yes.
I see these things happen.
Yeah, exactly. And they were 6-7 coming into the game last year, and then they went to 7-7 and 9-7, then won a playoff game. Denver this year, a lot of people are saying, Benjamin, that it's a different team than last year. Would you agree with that assessment?
No question, Rich, especially on the defensive side of the football. When you look at the pass rush with Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, I mean, these are two guys that could both start in the Pro Bowl. And let's not forget pot roast, Terrence Knighton, who refers to himself as the Chris Paul of the team, the assist man, because he'll get in there and he'll draw the guys. And there's, all of a sudden, sack-happy DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller.
Well, then what's the concern here in the Rocky Mountains? Is there one? I mean, the only one loss came in the Northwest in a game where Peyton Manning didn't have a chance to win it because of the new overtime rules, and Russell Wilson just jammed it down their throats. What would be the concern here in Denver?
The main concern is the running game. Now, again, we're doing this show in 2014 and not in 1994. If this was 94, oh my God, the run game. But nevertheless, starting running back, Ronnie Hillman, who is unproven, and a lot of people in the building over at Dove Valley don't really like him. He needs to prove himself. The second running back, due to the injury to Monte Ball, is undrafted rookie Juwan Thompson out of Duke.
Right.
So this is a Super Bowl possible team with those guys as the running backs.
When you say Dove Valley doesn't like him, it's because of his fumble issues?
Well, the fumble issues, of course. He's had some character issues over the years. He was drafted young out of San Diego State.
That's what I was going to say. You know, Kevin, you've seen him play and come up through the ranks, I'd imagine, Ronnie Hillman.
And there was concerns coming out of state if they were honest about it. Best 3-game stretch of his career, right?
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
Yeah, and he had a fumble against the Jets, and Bubba Caldwell, his teammate, recovered it. I said he should get Bubba Caldwell like dinner at Bubba Gump's with Bubba Watson while watching Bubba Smith in Police Academy to thank him, because if the other team had gotten the ball, we'd be talking about Ronnie Hillman's fumbleitis again. Yeah, best stretch of his career so far.
Go with that undrafted kid, undrafted rookie running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he is, I talked about it with Josh Lewin, the radio voice of the Chargers before. Is this his job? Is this his gig now? What do you think?
Here's the interesting thing.
Or is that a knee-jerk thing?
Well, you're not knee-jerk, though. It's a valid question.
Well, hold a minute. I am part of the media. This is the National Football League.
That.
Okay, and we are knee-jerk, week-to-week overreactors in this league. But he has been
Brandon Oliver.
Unbelievable.
We've compared him to Darren Sproles, obviously,
right.
Mike Tolbert, the little bowling ball guy. Now we're saying that tonight he's got to have a Ryan Matthews type game, because Ryan Matthews last year was huge.
Yes.
The Chargers controlled the ball for, 39-11?
Yep.
All right. His job. Interesting question, because you trust him more. Ryan Matthews has his own fumble problems, got injured. He has an injury problem too, and he did both of those to be out the last 5 weeks on the same play. But anyway, no, Ryan Matthews still your 20 carry a game guy, but it will be real interesting to see down near the goal line where Ryan's had some troubles, hasn't had that nose for the end zone, and this kid has. So it will be it'll be an interesting deal.
How did the keep away game and having it revealed that it was planned beforehand, how did that play locally?
Well, I think people loved it because what's more Peyton Manning than Peyton Manning orchestrating his own celebration after a touchdown.
Right.
He planned it out, who's going to be involved, who stands where. They were doing it at practice. It was perfect Peyton, and everyone liked it.
So then why would Emmanuel Sanders come on my show Monday morning, and when asked if there was any discussion in the receiver room as to who would be catching the football, if there was any competition, he said they didn't even discuss the record at all. Why would he say that to me?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't take it personally, Rich.
Oh,
but
I
it sounded
am.
like he lied
yeah.
right to your face, or at least to your voice.
To my ear.
Yeah, to your ear. Well said. Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel, come on. We're talking about Rich Eisen here. I can't believe you would lie to him like that.
I don't know. I'm just wondering if there was some track covering because of the way it did play out nationally. People were wondering if that should have gone down. But you know what? If you're Peyton Manning and you're breaking a record, it's your world, and we're all paying a rent. I don't particularly care if he planned that out or not. Well,
this isn't on in San Diego, right? Because I'm going to just compliment
This is
him
on
and
in
say
San Diego.
how much I love this guy, and he can do whatever he wants.
Right.
But there was a lot of eye rolling in San Diego, and I think other places besides Denver.
Where they love to hate Peyton Manning. Where they are.
I wonder why.
I know. But San Diego's had a very good track record against Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Why do you think that is? Can you put your finger on that, Kevin?
Well, they get the pressure. Somehow they love playing this guy. They always have. It hasn't always been with Sean Merriman and Sean Phillips. I think tonight a safety like Marcus Gilchrist, Eric Weddle, if they win, John Pagano, the defensive coordinator, I think is the MVP because they found a way to do it just like they did last year. And all these times it was 5 out of 6 games. 5 of his last 6 games in Indianapolis, the Chargers beat the Colts.
I'll say this though. Denver's cornerbacks are much improved with the addition of Aqib Talib and the drafting of Brandon Roby. Chris Harris, Chris Harris is probably the best cornerback that no one's ever heard of. If you look at his Pro Football Focus stats and you do the eye test, both times we're talking about a top cornerback in the NFL, and he'll be out there. And Keenan Allen, of course, torches this team. So we'll see how they defend him.
Well, he
tonight.
had 2 catches last year against
big
them
ones.
in the December game, and they were both touchdowns,
Yeah.
right? He hasn't scored yet this year. Fantasy football owners very upset, wondering what's wrong. Now he is the team's leading receiver.
Yeah.
But teams are playing him better, and this will be the Chargers' best, most difficult test on defense since at least Seattle.
Yeah, Keenan Allen, I have him in 2 leagues.
How are you? Are you taking that personally?
I'm not taking this personally. No, because here's the deal. I saw him week 15 here last year. He was unstoppable. He was uncoverable, unstoppable.
Big playoff game here.
It was a big and he was great. I mean, I just thought he was going to take that next step this year.
I don't want anybody in Denver to take offense to this, but there's a lot of weapons on this offense for Phillip Rivers. It's the best group of receivers he has had ever in his career.
You would really say
okay,
go on
and
say
I
that.
don't use the ever word
I was gonna say,
very often. I don't ever use it.
Royal, Floyd, Allen.
Royal, Floyd,
And
Allen,
Gates in there, yeah.
Gates.
Right.
Gates is. I was always very defensive of Antonio Gates when people were talking about his career being over. So I was reluctant to say he'd found the fountain of youth. He's found the fountain of youth because he's healthy. He's making those catches again. So you've got him. Floyd staying healthy this long into a season is big. I was here for Vincent Jackson. I was here for Keenan McCardell, Chris Chambers. LT was a heck of a pass catcher out of the backfield.
Yes, indeed.
This is his most diverse group of weapons. Being able to line Eddie Royal up in the slot, huge.
The good news for Denver is that they won't have former Charger, age 73, Quentin Jammer, defending Keenan Allen like we saw last season.
There were a lot of things.
Age 73, Quentin
74
Jammer.
now.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of things last year. I buy into the fact, I was here for that, the AFC Championship, the lead up there, obviously the Super Bowl. I buy into the fact that the Broncos were flat last year for this game. And that I know it sounds like I said, no offense, you're ugly. I'm trying to take anything away from this victory. It was huge. But I don't think they're catching the Broncos flat this year, and I think their defense, because I trust Benjamin.
What happens then when the Chargers wind up 5-3, which is obviously a quality record halfway through a season? But 5-3, once you were 5-1, 2 losses in a row in division, and I've mentioned it throughout this entire 3-hour program, every other division leader's 5-2. So if you want to be able to go ahead and get a home playoff game, losing tonight would be a really tough blow in that regard.
Pretty big. It's like the midseason playoffs for the Chargers. You know what their next game is? Miami. Have not won there since the epic after the 1981 season.
No kidding.
So have not won in Miami when the Dolphins have been not good. The Chargers have been good. They just have not traveled well to Miami. I always enjoy it.
And that's after tonight, their only game in a 23-day stretch for San Diego, because they have the mini bye, that game, then their bye, and then they're back at it against the Raiders and the Raiders and Rams coming out of the bye, so they have the ability to potentially get well soon.
Right, and all these guys, and we don't have time for the list, but your Manti Te'o, Melvin Ingram, Ryan Matthews, after the bye, Oakland, probably
So,
see them.
Before I let you go, when we did see the Rams there on the schedule, that's the rumor, the hot rumor, they're going to wind up the LA Rams again, and
Right.
the Spanos family has been very vocal about protecting their market, that this is not something that they want to have happen. What are you hearing about the Southern California football movement that is afoot or not?
Well, I think people are really hanging their hat on that hot rumor and believing that the Rams are going there, but the Chargers were adamant even before. I was writing about this before the latest round of reports. They cannot have a team beat them there. They don't want to be the second team there. They don't want this other team to be there anyway unless they have a new stadium. And you know what? All we've had is talk for 12 years in San Diego. I mean, I think this is a big deal, and this will either be what lights the fire for the business leaders and the political leaders in San Diego, or I think the Chargers will end up somewhere else.
In Los Angeles.
I can't say it.
Well, I mean,
I can't say it out loud.
Well, where else would they go,
LA.
Kevin? I mean, it is. It's.
You're the media member
It
here.
would take two. It's going to take two teams to make that work.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
That's what
and I
everybody's
think it'll be
saying.
interesting. You know, they don't want to be the second team. I said that, but I think the NFL will make it work with the two teams there. It's an awful big market. You know what? There's an awful lot of business there,
Yes.
and you know, law firms and accountants and Hollywood and. I
Yeah, I
think
like
two
that.
teams
Law
will be,
firms, accountants. You got to put Hollywood higher than that.
No,
Kevin.
he's
Well,
talking about the
I'm
agents. The
a
agents are-
rube.
The agents.
San Diego.
Good to see you. Thanks, Kevin.
Hey, thanks,
You
man.
bet. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank
Thanks.
you, sir, too.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern, on Audience.